July the 11th, 1999, at the Northwestern Hospital in Chicago, I was diagnosed with aggressive wet macular disease in both eyes. And the reason that I ended up there was that about April, my right eye started to cloud over, and obviously I knew I had an eyesight problem. And after July, I spent about 7 months when my eyesight deteriorated to the point that I became legally blind. As a result, I lost my job, relocated back from Hong Kong after 12 years to Scotland in the UK, my homeland, and of course lost my friends, business and social, and spent these 10 years readjusting my life. The impact was devastating, because obviously I have 4 adult children and 5 grandchildren who couldn't understand why I was so emotionally upset to the point of suicidal depression, why I couldn't do the most rudimentary functions for myself. It was a friend of mine that found a magazine, one of the doctors that indicated the Macular Disease Society, and I picked up the phone and phoned the CEO and basically asked him what the MDS did. I was completely astounded at how far they had gone in helping to support patients with the disease, and not only free counseling, but in support groups and information on the disease, etc. And so much so that eventually I became vice chairman of the society, because I believed so much in the work they did. I think there are many people out there that don't have the good fortune, and as a result, when they're diagnosed with this disease, go home basically, and it's almost the end of their life as far as normality is concerned, and become recluse. So for me, part of my whole endeavors over the last years is to try to bring relief to these folk who aren't as lucky as I was, didn't have the support I did, didn't have the friends I did, and didn't have the money to get the equipment they needed to lead a normal life. We have incredibly good surgeons and ophthalmologists who really understand the disease and how to treat the disease from a clinical perspective. But unfortunately, within our disease formula, when we're diagnosed, there is very little given to the mental impact it's having. And my advice to anyone is to get counseling, or to get information, or to get others who've gone through the disease pathway and get the information on the mental impact. It is critical. There are 2 aspects to this disease. There's one, those people that can be treated with some of the treatments that are in the marketplace, such as Lucentis, and that we're really addressing strongly, and hopefully in the next 5 years we'll have everyone who can have Lucentis or a similar drug that hopefully will be an even improvement in Lucentis, and will arrest the decline of their eyesight. But more important to me personally is the fact that those who have the disease and do not have the ability to get a treatment have the correct equipment supplied to them with the correct training and financing to allow them to be human beings who can function and have their independence. And to me, it's probably economical in the long term to have these folk as good members of and good citizens who have their independence and are available to lead a normal, and I always use the word normal questionably, but need a relatively usual active life that any other human being would have. I am just the immediate past chair of the AMD Alliance, which of course is a global entity for AMD, and we are AMD Alliance is in 22 countries, and we have 60 member organizations that we work with in these countries. We have basically 4 platforms that we operate from. One is the prevention of the disease. The second is we do surveys on the impact of the disease in patients. And thirdly, we do how to get access to treatments that now exist. And fourthly, we look at the psychosocial impact of the disease. And we have been very successful in achieving these through various methods. Our mandate is to spread awareness through advocacy and through information. And of course the advocacy part advocacy is to get treatments to people, to get low vision aids, to get the things we've just talked about so that people can lead an independent life. The information is important because the more people understand the disease, more patients understand, then less and less becomes the panic. Because living with this disease, once you've acclimatized to it and understand it and learn ways to overcome it, is not as disastrous as it would first seem.